world is changing, and so does change. But the mind has the potential to capture the changing world and make every change count. At Skills Mindset, the leading global skills, strategy and corporate development company, we believe that the mind has the potential of transforming the man from obscurity to prominence. It's the reason why we make skills our business. At Skills Mindset, we stand for change, for development and for success. We challenge, we inspire and we lead. With Skills Mindset, your limit is just the beginning. Welcome to Skills Mindset. For more information about the great service we provide, please visit our website on www.skillsmindset.com or give us a call on our UK number on 07957 676 193. Better still, send us an email on info@skillsmindset.com. Skills Mindset. Challenging limits, maximising opportunities.
Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone, wherever you are joining us from. I'm happy to welcome you to today's this month's masterclass, Skills Mindset Masterclass. Welcome and greetings to everyone in attendance with us live at the moment, and those who will be watching the replay, on all our platforms. We are delighted to have you join us for another live session of incredible, and transformative Skills Mindset Masterclass. As we would always do, friends and listener or participant, please let us know where you are joining us from and also the city and the country that you are joining us from. It will be a great pleasure and privilege that you are with us today. And of course, at this moment, we want to acknowledge your attendance. We want to acknowledge your presence. We also want to acknowledge your contribution or participation, even as we proceed into the masterclass session. So please, it's going to be a great honor if you will allow us to know where you are joining us from. You are all welcome, and we want to ensure that we can work together or run this together tonight, and then make it, a very interactive, interesting masterclass. So, friends, you are welcome. You're welcome. It is another awakening moment. Such a time that we'll embark on a journey together to explore the power mind resource of experienced experts. It's such a great experience together where we will uncover and enhance opportunities for skills development, business progression, professional growth, and leadership for everyone. Today, our purpose is to again bring attention to a vital subject that can greatly influence our performances and impact our businesses. How to improve your personal branding or self-image, strategic leadership, leveraging on innovation, to stay ahead of the curve. We will focus today on the dual use dilemma, AI as both a tool and a threat in cybersecurity. This masterclass will actually examine the crucial intersection of AI and cybersecurity. So our speaker will be endeavored to explore how AI, originally intended for defense and optimization, is being increasingly weaponized by malicious actors to execute sophisticated, adaptive, and scalable cyber attacks. So our guest today is someone who is being featured on the Skills Master class for the very first time. A highly skilled and proficient professional who possesses extensive and needed knowledge, in this area of business and cybersecurity improvement. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Babatunde Falode, who is an experienced security architect with advanced degree in advanced information technology. He has over 27 years of technical experience in various enterprise organizations, including working with financial institutions. He has held positions within the infrastructure architecture function, where he has been responsible for designing and delivering information systems that align with business infrastructure and initiatives. Mr. Babatunde possesses expert knowledge in planning, designing, and delivering secure solutions in an enterprise environment. His primary focus, though, is on helping businesses persevere, and perceive the confidentiality, preserve confidentiality and integrity of their data across the organization and through effective IT security measures. In addition to his professional achievement, Mr. Babatunde is the co-founder of Magnatech Consulting, a cybersecurity consulting and training organization dedicated to guiding individuals towards successful careers in cybersecurity. Once again, we'll extend our warm welcome to Mr. Babatunde as he joins us for this month's April Skills Mindset Masterclass. Mr. Babatunde, you are welcome, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Lawal, for having me. Good evening, all. Good morning, whatever part of the world you are, a guest. I'm so happy to be here. I'm hoping that with this session, we'll be able to rub minds, dive into the world of cybersecurity and how AI at a crossroads with cybersecurity.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Yes, again, while we're settling, friends, could you tell us more about yourself, Mr. Babatunde?
Okay.
Why people are settling in, why people are telling us where they're joining us from, and of course the city where they're joining us from. We have people joining us across, continent as well. We have Jefala from the United Kingdom, Anthony Adeshile, glad to be here from United Kingdom. Ola Oluwasonya from United Kingdom. Good evening to her. So people are really joining in. That is from YouTube. People are from YouTube. Yet to see people from Facebook and of course from LinkedIn. So they're saying hello to you as well. Our guest speaker today, they're expectant. They really want to see how the interjection between AI and cybersecurity is playing out. Mr. Conde Joseph, also from United Kingdom. Yeah, I think your guests tonight are majorly at the moment from the United Kingdom, so they must be expecting you to dish out so much for them. But there are a lot of people joining us from Africa, from America, from Australia, and then they joining on Facebook, they joining on LinkedIn as well, even though at the moment we've seen majority from YouTube. So while they're settling in and telling us where you're joining from, we would like to have a shout out to you as you join us and tell us where you're joining from. We would greatly be grateful for doing that. So, Mr. Babatunde, can you tell us, please, briefly about yourself, what you have been doing, and then, of course, why are you doing what you do?
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So, as you know, my name is Babatunde Falode. I've been in the IT and cybersecurity space for over 27 years. I started in IT and then found my way into cybersecurity. And what drove my interest in cybersecurity is the alarming rate in which organizations are getting attacked left, right, and center by what we call the threat actors. And then that presented an opportunity for me to help organizations. And in over those years, I've been working across sectors in the UK, helping organizations design, identifying vulnerabilities within their either system, process, and technology, and devising ways in which we can ensure that the threat actors don't exploit these vulnerabilities, and with the overall objective of trying to protect organizations' assets. So, like I said, I've been working with different organizations, and lately I am a co-founder of Mayatech Academy. And what we do is we lead as many people in the world of cybersecurity so that they can help organizations protect their assets. And that is why AI in the last few years, even though it's brought a lot of goods into the world of cybersecurity and globally, there are these challenges that we're going to talk about tonight, how our threat actors, our friend on the other side, are using this tool to do damage to organization. And that is where the dual use dilemma
comes from.
Correct.
Thank you so much. To be honest, I want to commend you on what you do and the passion in which you are delivering on the services that you promise to deliver to your clients and to people, particularly the awareness in this space at this moment, because a lot of people are aware of AI now. A lot of people are talking about AI. AI has come to stay. But of course, like we had pre-discussed a few things about this issue, you can tell that there are, some areas that organizations, particularly individuals, who needs to be conscious of, needs to pay attention to, and that is in the area of security. Because I tell you, I tried to do some search on some things, and I just put some details on AI, and I was amazed at how depth of information I was getting, which I thought, well, cybersecurity needs to step up, or perhaps you will tell us how the two can work together, and that's the important thing. We cannot, deny the efficiency and the impact of AI in growth and development, particularly even in improvement. But again, we don't want to jettison that it may potentially pose when it data protection and when it comes to confidentiality and all these things. And I think that's the aim of our discussion tonight, and that's why we have to bring you an expert who has been in this operation on this field for quite some time. And I'm impressed by how long you've been in this space, and I hope you'll be able to tell our listeners and those who are participating to also get some tips as to where to look at. So a lot of people are actually joining, and I guess you have so many people who some of them may have actually known you from somewhere. Yes, yesterday Onidobo joining us. He said, wrote along today, Falode, you and Tayo Babatunde from UK, and then of course Akande Joseph from UK. As mentioned, I think I've mentioned that. I'm yet to see people from Facebook, to be honest. Maybe my Facebook is not opening at the moment, but I'll once I get to see them and on LinkedIn, be sure that I'll be make a reference to your presence. It's a pleasure that we are all here and that you are here to listen to what Mr. Babatunde, our guest speakers, has got to tell us. Now, let me say this as a way of background, or if you like, a kind of a tip to getting into what we are going into delve into tonight. And that's it. That's the fact that in the era of where artificial intelligence is transforming industries, enhancing human capacities, its potential for misuse must not be ignored. AI's power goes beyond innovation and productivity. It has become a significant tool in the realm of cyber warfare. And I believe this is not debatable. In other words, it's given. We can see it happening. And then, of course, that's why you are here to tell us more about what it is. So, and if I can, and if I can tell us more about that, is that through, we know that we are here to explore, the technological mechanism behind AI-driven attack, isn't it? The vulnerability they exploit, the ethical and strategic dilemmas they raise, and of course, the urgent need, most importantly, for resilient AI-informed security strategies. So whether you are a cybersecurity professional, policymaker or technologist or business leader, grasping this double-edged sword is essential for navigating the future of digital risk and resilience. So I will leave the discussion with our guest speaker. So let's dive into the business of the day as we've been looking at the dual use dilemma. AI as both a tool and, of course, threat to cyber security. Without much ado or delay, let us warmly welcome Mr. Babatunde for his presentation. Before you go, Emmanuel Oluwasomi joining from UK, Dario Shona joining from UK, yes, somebody from LinkedIn, and then also others from YouTube. So, Mr. Babatunde, you got the floor. Please tell us what you have for us.
Thank you. And when I looked at this, initially when I was dwelling over this topic, dual use dilemma, I liken it to a sword, right? A double-edged sword, where you look at AI as both a tool and a threat in cybersecurity. So if you are in cybersecurity, we have our friends on the other side who are the threat actors. And the threat actors, their intention is to do damage to business organization. So you have organization, and we always say this, the objective of organization is to make money. That's the primary objective. And then everything else follow. Security is not their, if you like, their primary objective. But of course, in achieving this, you find out that the threat actors who are our adversaries or their adversaries, their intention is to do damage to business organization, right? And they steal their data. Now, we have what we call threats. Now, these threats would actors seek to exploit vulnerabilities within organization, system, process, or the people being ourselves. So if, for example, people become vulnerable, and we're going to, as I go on, you understand the vulnerability within people, then your threat actors will seek to exploit that. Okay, and that's what it is. So the way I want to tackle this evening is to look at AI as a tool that can organization can leverage to help improve their process, and then as a threat to cybersecurity. So we're looking at a tool that can help build your cyber defense, and at the same time, a threat to cybersecurity. And I'm looking at it from an organization perspective. Now, I'm mindful of the audience who are here, so I want to bring this back home to look at the effect on businesses. So if you are a business person that is embracing what AI has got to offer, you also need to think about the threat that it presents to cybersecurity and what can be done to ensure that this threat are mitigated to a risk, to a level that is acceptable, to a risk level that is acceptable to the organization. So let me go here. So that is me. I'm not going to dwell too much. I'm a co-founder of MyTech Academy. With a mission of creating the next warriors. And I'm hoping that tonight we'll get so many warriors join us in the battle to fend off these adversaries who seek nothing but to do damage to business organizations. Now, the way I want to go with this presentation is the very first thing I'll be looking at, what is dual use dilemma? What is it? When you hear the word dual use dilemma, what is it from a cybersecurity perspective and also from a business perspective? And then I'll then talk about harnessing AI for stronger cybersecurity, but looking at it from a business standpoint. So how can a business leverage the opportunities that AI presents, on the same time looking at the damage that could potentially it create? And then we'll look at AI, how cyber criminals use them too. And if you look at what I've done there, use it as a tool, and then use them too. So we need to look into that. Then why does the data use of AI matters to business? So for our business folks, why does it matter? You know, you look at the dual use. Why does it matter? Why does it matter to you? And of course, the strategic response, what business leaders in our midst need to do to ensure, yes, you take advantage of what AI needs to offer, but at the same time, you also need to be aware that the threat actors, the people who want to do damage to business organization, also have access to this tool. Now, there's no doubt this tool is so powerful. So we, the good guys, have access to it. The bad guys also have access to it. So what should be a response from a business perspective? And then I'll take you through the key takeaway here that you can then go and think about. Okay, so you may ask the question, what is artificial intelligence? Okay, so broadly speaking, it aims to create capable machines of performing tasks that your users would, or human beings would typically perform. But they will take it to another level. So when you're doing your machine learning, you want to ensure that a machine can do that at a higher level than what humans would do. And that is, AI involves teaching machines to learn from data and adapt to new situations. So you think about it. AI is transforming cybersecurity. Fantastic. Yes, it's doing that. But it's not just one direction. And we're going to show you, we're going to go through a user story to see how that is. So as far as we're concerned, it's a powerful tool. It can help us detect, neutralize threats faster than ever before. Fantastic. But it's a potent tool in the hand of attackers too. So we are at the crossroad. So we have this technology that we use to defend ourselves. At the same time, that technology can also be used to destroy business organizations. So therefore, this is the dual use dilemma I want to talk about. And that is what I'm going to talk about in this presentation. So actually, let's just break the ice and think about, I'll give you a user story. Now, a guy, Ade, is a cybersecurity consultant at a major insurance institution. So it's a cybersecurity professional helping organizations to protect their assets. So there's a situation. Ade was able to convince his company, said, you know what? AI is fantastic, right? Let's invest in an AI-powered threat detection system. And what that would do is allow the organization to quickly detect threats as the adversary even make any attempt to initiate any threat. So, of course, this AI system that was procured or purchased was able to scan millions of logs. They correlate the logs, were able to detect unusual behavior. And of course, based on this unusual behavior, the system was able to isolate infected machines. They identified that actually we can detect anomaly on the network. And because of the power of AI, it was able to stop this threat in the strike. So no damage was done. Fantastic. So that is a very good use of AI. It was proud of what it was able to achieve. But we have a dilemma. Whilst it was doing that, at the same time, it discovered that attackers are using AI too. All right. And what they were doing is there was a new ways of phishing email. And phishing email, I'm going to talk about phishing email as we progress in this discussion. But attackers were able to craft new emails, new phishing emails. And phishing emails, before the advent of AI, the attackers would generate phishing emails, and phishing emails are used as a distraction to trick people into divulging confidential information, i.e. the username and the credentials, or may even use that to deliver malware. But the telltales, and us on the good side, and I'll call us the cybersecurity folks on the good side, what we used to tell when we do training, user training, we ask them to look for misspelled emails, badly worded emails. But of course, the adversaries in this case here, in the case of Ade's company, were able to use AI model to craft fantastic, well-personalized email that actually was able to use machine learning to mimic that email into the style of the company leadership. So the email became so real that everyone that received that email thought it was a genuine email. Okay, so not only that, that AI system was also able to go to the internet, get as much information using the algorithm to generate more information about the users in the organization. So they were able to get their social media details, they were able to get their internet habit, and they were able to use those information that they've now gotten with the use of AI. And that is why, and I'm going to digress in a minute, that's why when you go onto social media, you have to be very careful with the kind of information you put out there, because this information becomes the data set for when they're building this kind of AI systems. So, and they were able to do that. So they were able to craft this email. So on one hand, Ade is impressed. He was able to identify, using the AI system that they bought, to identify a malware. On the other side, the threat actors have also been able to use an AI model, a tool, to craft phishing email, and off you go. When that was then delivered to the users, they then clicked on the email, believing that the email was real. And of course, that email, through that, they were able to divulge confidential information. Not only that, they were able to download dodgy malware onto their computers. And that is the dilemma we're talking about here. On one side, we've got a good use of it. The same organization are facing threat actors also leveraging the capability of the same tool to do damage to the organization. So what is the outcome? Ade realizes that AI has given his team a powerful defensive advantage. Fantastic. It has also raised the stake. However, both defenders and attackers are locked in a race, each trying to outsmart each other. I want you to think about that for a minute. So, in Ade's company, cybersecurity at Ade's company isn't just about using AI, is it? Okay, it's about understanding that the adversaries are also using that too. So the moral of the story is this: AI in cybersecurity is not only a purely defensive tool. It empowers the adversaries, and the adversaries are our threat actors. It also empowers us. And this is the basis that I'm going to take this discussion tonight. So, the AI dual use dilemma, what is it? So let's actually think about the benefit that AI presents. Okay, with AI uses, and most AI use, they would use a model. And model, a lot of data sets will be fed into that model, and with the intention of building the machine. So through a machine learning process, of course, depending on the AI that is being used. And they would train the machine to the point where it reasons not even only as human being, beyond human beings. So therefore, the positive side of AI includes things like your healthcare diagnostic. You hear in hospital where they use AI, the doctors use AI to do simple diagnoses or major ones. And this is as part of the machine learning process using huge data sets. You have education. So you have learning, problem solving, cognitive functions. And these are the power and the might of AI. You have scientific discovery. And the key thing where I'm taking this tonight is the business transformation. So the impact of AI on businesses is mind-blowing. And there are a lot of discussion. It's debatable, but maybe when we finish some of the discussion we'll have tonight is you hear people say, asking that will AI take our job away from us, right? Well, maybe yes, maybe not. But that tells you how important or the role that AI as a tool is very powerful. Now, let's look at the negative sides. And our adversaries, and I keep calling them our adversaries because they are people who want to do damage to business organization. So they also have access to this tool, but they have an ultimate dangerous and bad intention and motivation. So the negative side of this same tool are weaponization. So cyber attacks, cyber crimes, which is underpinned by that. We have disinformation and misinformation. If you remember, when they were during, and it probably happened during the last election in the US, where they were being accused of misinformation, disinformation and misinformation, with the intention of trying to manipulate the outcome of the election. And these are organizations or threat actors using algorithm. They're using algorithm to create fake profile with the intention of changing the outcome of any decision. And these are the negative aspect, if you like, of AI. Economic manipulation. Don't be surprised that hostile states, for example, and begin to use AI to tamper, to make, to manipulate the economy. Privacy violation. And I was talking to someone yesterday, and in fact, one of our students who then posted and said, actually, it wouldn't put it past them that the outage that they had in, I don't know if they've still got it, but the outage they had in Spain a day or 2 days ago is probably the work of cyber criminals. I won't put it past them because they now have the tool called AI to do damage to business organizations. So this is a dilemma that we face. The AI as a dual use, as a double-edged sword. So one part of it, the good people, and I'm happy to say that we are part of the good people. We use AI as a tool. You also have the threat actors using the same tool to do damage to business organizations. So now, let's look at the business then and say, actually, how can they harness what stronger cybersecurity has got to offer, leveraging AI capabilities? Because if any organization is able to ensure that threat actors that seek to exploit their vulnerabilities, either in their system, their person, or their people, or their data, if that threat is detected at the early stage, then it then means that that risk of a threat actor cutting away with their data is almost zero. So organization, as we saw in the case of Ade and his company, AI system can monitor network, spot unusual behavior, and this can be achieved by using data sets that have been used, that have been gathered over time, to look at what are the anomalies on the network, what are the anomalies within the system, and they can use that to create an AI model that can use to detect early threat detection. So from a business perspective, one of the strengths or that they can harness from AI is for early threat detection. You can also have smarter response to threat. So AI systems, again, can help organizations respond to threat in not promptly and in a smart way. So it helps cybersecurity teams to act promptly when a threat is detected, automatically isolating the compromised device of the network. So you have a threat actors come into your network trying to steal your data or trying to deliver a malware into the organization. So they can use an AI system that has been built over the years using data sets maybe gathered from similar or suspicious activities, and then use that to build their system and can allow them to respond promptly and quickly to threats. Fraud detection and prevention. Again, you find that banks and business organizations rely primarily on AI. They begin to develop AI systems. Now, where I work and where I've worked in the past, there's a lot of drive towards building models. And these models are used to build AI systems. Let me give you an example. So some organization, and organization I've worked in the past, they have, there was an issue that was identified where a lot of false claims are being made by maybe people who who have an accident. So they claim, you know, the cash for money, if you like, or crash for money. So, and they then notice that when they ask these people to upload images of the accident, they can just go and then get images from somewhere and then upload that with the intention of claiming for damages or accident, right? Or insurance claim. So one of the systems that was built was developing an AI system that can actually detect. So any uploaded image, from that image, they can detect one, when that image was taken, when it was captured, where, and who captured it. So say, for example, an accident happened in, and I'm going to make this up, in Wales, okay? And it happened in Wales, and the insurance company have asked you to take a picture of that location, or you took the picture of that location to help your claim. You took that picture and then you uploaded it to the insurance company's portal. Now, there is a system that can detect, one, when that picture was taken, where that picture was taken. And these are the capabilities that AI has got to offer in helping to detect fraud and prevent it. They also have it in banks as well. So you find out that sometimes when people put in a claim, when they put in a claim, they're able to detect, even from the voice, the way you sound, and the way you sound, the way you respond to the question, they can detect if it's fraudulent or not. So AI system can detect that. I'm going to move quickly because of the time. So AI can also provide better intelligence and insight for business decision makers. So within the organization, because of the amount of data that they can get, they can use that to train their model, and this model can then, of course, provide insights to for them to make business decisions. I think the key thing is organizations are able to prioritize cyber investment. So they've looked at tools that they can use to identify, or if you like, to prioritize what they need to focus on when it comes to cybersecurity. So again, that is using AI tools as a risk assessor. I think where I worked in the past, they were trying to develop an AI tool that can help do risk assessment, and that just makes identifying and hopefully investment in cyber decisions. It makes it a lot easier because it will be driven by the risk assessment. Again, automated penetration test is one of the things that business are beginning to do. Instead of you having someone going to identify threats within the organization with the sake of exploiting it, AI tools are able to simulate those attacks and then identify gaps within that. Okay. So the other side, AI, criminals use them too. So AI is also used by criminals, and that is the issue that we have. So we look at AI-powered cyber attack. Now, malware is a type of threat that cybersecurity actors deliver with the intention of either stealing data or just doing damage to business organization. So they have a way of adapting their malware in such a way that it would detect, it would prevent or evade the antivirus software you have on your computer. So it's possible that AI adapted malware can evade your antivirus. So organization who would install antivirus with the hope that they will be able to catch malware, unfortunately, with this AI-powered cyber attack, it just be a waste of time. Automated exploits. So cyber criminals are able to use the computing power of AI to automate the identification of exploit. So they can run scans at a scale that they would not be able to do if they were just using just normal machine to find vulnerabilities and then deliver exploits. Deepfake is, and I've got a link that I will share. But deepfake is very rampant now, and there are 5, which I will share the list in a minute. There are 5 layers or 5 high-profile deepfakes that have been identified. Is when cyber criminals impersonate your politician, for example, or your CEO. They impersonate them, and with a view of trying to defraud or manipulate the victim. And now these are the power of what the cyber criminals can do with AI. You have social engineering. Social engineering is when you try and trick your victim to either divulge information or to steal their data or to steal their credentials. Again, you can use AI to achieve that. Phishing and fraud. I've spoken about phishing and fraud. Before we used to say, and all my cybersecurity colleagues on the call would tell you that before we used to say, it's very easy to identify phishing email. What you need to look for, the way the letters are being drafted, the emails are being drafted. They are littered with typographical error. They're littered with grammatical error. No longer. Why? Because I have access to ChatGPT. The cybersecurity professional, the fraudsters also have access to that as their tool. They have a dark web where they have access to this. So when you see an email, a phishing email generated by a cyber criminal, you'll be very, very lucky to not click on it. So, and that is one of the, if you like, the other side on the use case of AI tools by cyber criminals. We have credential stuffing, where they automate a process using AI to automate a process to go and steal and harvest credentials. So they can go to dodgy website where they have stolen credentials, and they can automate that process in such a way that they can then begin to log into different accounts. And that's why sometimes when you try and log into an account, you get that captcha, or you go and get things where it says, "I'm not a robot," for example. And these are security controls that they put in place to guide against these AI created bots. You have adversary machine learning. So again, when you look at AI, machine learning is a key component of that. The machine learns all the human behaviors, the human intelligence, with a view of, if you like, responding to any request that you make. For example, I might go to AI and then post questions. It's a machine learning component that allows that to happen. But of course, your adversary can trick the AI model to give wrong decision. And that's one of the things that they will do. They will trick the machine learning to behave in a way that is not designed or intended to do so. And it may come back with the wrong decision. And that is why we in the cybersecurity space, you find out that we look at threats that face this AI. And that's what we try as much as possible to defend against that. We have autonomous hacking system. Again, it's where organization or cyber criminals tend to hack system They just go in, no human intervention. They just use UI-based machine to automate the hacking process. Now, what AI offers cyber criminals? Automation of attack. They can just sit at home, have a cup of tea, let the AI tool do their job for them. They have personalization and targeting. And this is when the algorithm would target user behavior. You go onto, if you think about it, you go onto your social media, maybe your Facebook, you create on, you request for a product, or you inquire about a particular product. Before you know it, there are similar adverts popping up in your timelines. Again, your adversaries can also do that to target you. They go to your social media, get as much information. They go to your public record, your company account, get as much information as they can get, and they use that to target you. So these are the kind of things that AI can offer cyber criminals. Realistic deception. I've talked about deep fake technology, defense evasion, and that's what it is. You know, it's very easy to attack organization, but they try. What is difficult is to evade detection, and that is why AI has come in as a tool for the cybersecurity to use. So whereas they will find it difficult to successfully be detected, AI as a tool has helped them to ensure that they can evade organization defenses. Okay, speed and scale. That's what it offers them. The cybersecurity, cyber criminals now have using AI to launch millions of attacks at a large scale. So imagine they can target the whole of UK, US by the click of a button. Okay, and the speed at which they can do that, they don't have to wait for days or hours. Within seconds, they can do that. Okay, smarter reconnaissance. So this is in the cybersecurity world. We look at reconnaissance is one way of gathering information about your target, but now they don't need that. They don't need the information is readily available to them. They just gather those information and then use that to train their model. And I'll say that, I'll just put that in quote, the AI model. They will do that. Now, one thing that is important, and there's lower barrier to entry, and this is very important actually. You find out that we have what we call the dark web. Now, the dark web is where you can get any dodgy technology. So if you want an AI model to do, I don't know, to do deep fake, to do deep fake, or to do social engineering, just go to dark web. I don't know, I've not been there before, but it's, go there, you'll be able to buy this technology. So a small kid who is just learning how to code, right? Or they're low skill attackers, they can just go there and pay less than $10 to get this model, or $20, and off you go. They can then start to become cyber criminals leveraging this AI capability. Okay. So real world case studies, I'll share this link. Just go and there's a link here. Go and see and read about deep fake. The popular one is Elon Musk, where I think in terms of the scam and the deep fake scammer is the biggest so far. A lot of people fell for it because you can imagine if Elon Musk is advising you to invest in a technology and you can hear him speak, right, then you're more likely to believe whatever he says. So if he says send your login credentials or even send money into this account, you're more likely to believe that. Again, these are the, if you like, the dark side of AI. Okay, so why does the dual use of AI matters to business? It's a double-edged sword. So business would use the AI to make a business decision, right? But of course, it also amplifies the risk associated with the AI. Attackers are one step ahead. That's why you have business organization. They ask you the question, what keeps you awake at night? It's the attackers. We in the cybersecurity world are always playing catch up. It's a known fact. And I'm not ashamed to put our hands up. That's the way it goes, right? Of course, the AI hasn't helped as well. The AI helps us. It also helps the adversary. And business needs to be aware of that, okay? Larger attack surface as organization begin to maybe acquire business organizations, maybe become bigger, they're expanding the business, they begin to use AI. All right, it creates a perfect storm because all this acquisition, all these applications that they are building, all this organization they are acquiring, then it creates more vulnerabilities to exploit. And that then presents a breeding ground or an opportunity for these adversaries to use AI to exploit them. Okay, so legal and regulatory risk. This is a big risk to organization. So you have the legal and regulatory ramification, and that should be a concern. It should be a concern if an organization they're now accountable not only for the use or for the development of the AI, but if that AI is being misused. So if an organization develop an AI system and that same tool is being misused by that organization, then it presents a regulatory and legal risk to the organization. Reputational damage. So if an organization, okay, we know that an organization can, if you like, use AI tools to build their business. But at the same time, that AI tools can be misused by the company as well. If they do that, it can lead to reputational damage. Now, competitive advantage. As organization can use AI, and they will use that to gain a competitive advantage over their competitors. Okay, but it can also then be used by malicious actors to undermine their business. Okay. So what are the strategic response to dual use of AI in business? Now, organizations are beginning to do this. I think where I've worked with my last two organizations, they're now taking 2 steps back and incorporating AI risk management in the organization strategy. When they had, maybe in the early days, when they would have put in the organizational strategy or information or cybersecurity strategy, AI wouldn't have been in there. So organizations are now beginning to do a lot of risk assessment, again, looking at it from an AI perspective, especially when they consider the dual use. So when we're doing a risk assessment, what are the good use of AI and what can our threat actors also use that AI against organization? AI risk is a new one. It's a critical enterprise risk. So we in the cybersecurity, when we do our risk assessment, AI risk should be up there. It should be flagged, right? Because yes, it can be used by the business for the business, but at the same time, your threat actors can also create AI risk for the business. So business should ensure that it responds to that and making sure that AI risk is classified as an enterprise risk, not just a cybersecurity risk. Okay, training would always come in. User awareness training. Again, this training up to the leadership level. Okay, and of course, training, cybersecurity training has to be across board. But again, they need to be aware of the dual use nature of AI in businesses. So as an organization, we need to know that yes, organization can use AI to build a system to defend against themselves, but at the same time, they need to think about the downside that the adversaries can also use that tool to do damage to the organization. So threat modeling of AI systems, again, that's a given. when you're doing your risk assessment, you need to look at your AI system, do threat modeling, identify threats, identify vulnerabilities, and look at ways in which those threats and vulnerabilities can be mitigated. Okay, I'm mindful of the time, but establish robust incident response plan, and this is key. Every organization should begin to think that yes, AI tools can be used as cybersecurity, but they can also get attacked by an AI-related attack. And again, going back to the attack, the outage in Spain, I don't even know. It may be an AI-related attack. So organizations should put a plan in place and incorporate within that plan an AI-related attack should in case. And that would then ensure that the organization is prepared should they have an AI-related attack. Okay? So the key takeaway from here, AI is a double-edged sword. It is, right? You have the good side that people like us use, and I'm proud to say that. You also have it as a threat to cybersecurity. Cyber criminals are also using AI, so we are not the only one. So as we're speaking now, they are in their dark web buying and developing AI model for their dangerous use. Managing AI risk must be strategic. That is, they must incorporate that into the organization strategy and not see it as a cybersecurity risk, but they can see it as an enterprise risk. Ethics and regulatory requirements needs to be considered. You need to look at how regulatory requirements are being affected, right? So you find out that regulatory requirements are beginning to incorporate AI into their requirements. AI risk is an enterprise risk. Yes, it is. User training, I think above all, user training is one of the key takeaway here. You train your users. Users in the cybersecurity are considered the weakest link. You train them so that they can understand the threat and benefit of AI. So in conclusion, AI dual use dilemma underscores a critical reality. So while AI intelligence holds immense potential to advance society, of course, it opens a floodgate or new ways in which organization can be harmed. So therefore, you need to make sure, organizations need to make sure as they look at the positive side and benefit of AI, they also not need to close their eyes on the other side, because the adversaries can also use the same AI to do damage to business organization. Thank you. I'll be open to questions and answers. Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, that was wonderful. Well, certainly delivered. Thank you so much, Mr. Babatunde Falode. Thanks for the depth of that explanation and the explanation you've been able to share. I think this is very crucial to business growth as we want to optimize our business and grow our business as well. It's very important we get to know these things ahead of time so that we can stay, stay aware, stay alert as well, particularly business owners, and those who are in charge of it. So thank you so much. Yes, please, listeners or participants, please, it will be very important if you have questions at this junction to ask your questions. You can actually post them in the comment box. We will be able to pick them up. And then, of course, Mr. Falode is here to throw lights on those questions at those areas. Thanks very much. So yeah, they were saying thank you so much. That was very helpful information you have shared. It's a way of putting us, everybody at on alert, so that we don't just sit back and say, well, AI is here and it's all going to be positive and rosy. It's just for us to guide and protect few things that we needed to, because ultimately responsibility of protection still lies with the organization. So regardless of how it is being, yeah, because I posted something on behalf of Skills Mindset earlier on while you were speaking, and because I read that during the week, and I thought, wow, maybe this is also what is very important. You know, as United Kingdom actually, the security military force were using some of the vehicles and equipment, manufactured in China. And just this Monday, the newspaper reported that the British defense firm, as big as it is, working with the United Kingdom government, have, they advised their staff against connecting their or pairing their mobile phone to or with any Chinese-made electrical cars, because they are concerned that China could access sensitive data from such devices. So, that was scary.
Yeah. And I won't put it past, again, is a big concern, right? Anything that, especially with any computer that you connect to the network, it doesn't even have to be the network, right? It's you can even use it as a bot. So even if the AI can actually use it as a bot and then launch attack elsewhere, right? So there are we call them, and within the system there are vulnerabilities as well, and that's what your threat actors look for. We always say this at MyAtech, when we say to our students, if there are no vulnerabilities at all in any system, we can all go home, then we haven't got a problem. But you would always have vulnerabilities, either in the system, either in the process, or in the people. And that is what these threat actors, that's what they that's what they want, and that's what they check for every day.
Wow, that's powerful. Yes, just like one of the participants said, Dari Shonaya said that the general perspective is that, or perception is that, the Chinese are so vast in when it comes to cybersecurity. So people are really using Chinese-made products, particularly computers and electronics. And then the question is, why is that a concern?
I think it's
because
just
virtually everything is being made in China anyway.
Yeah. I think China have got, either wrongly or rightly, they've got the trust issue, right? But I think one thing with a lot of and they do a lot of that, a lot of products made in China, there are a lot of IoT devices, right? And when they do IoT devices, there's no updates, right? There's no updates that where people they just plug it in there. And of course, you don't trust, I don't want to say you don't trust the Chinese, right? But there's that mistrust, if you like. They can put a surveillance of some sort there within that system, right? But let's move away from that. It's a fact that these devices may just never be patched. And if they're not patched, that is what our folks, our guys will look out for. They will continually scan and look for these devices to exploit vulnerabilities within them. And unfortunately, that's the way it goes. And it's no surprise that most of these technologies are from China anyway. And of course, that mistrust won't help that conversation.
Yeah. But again, maybe you still get into that because I have some questions coming in. Because, yes, things do happen, but I think there are regulations, international treaty, and of course, international trade law that will have protected the operations of and the production of such devices. So there must be some kind of international law being violated when it comes to things like that. So it appears nobody is responsible and nobody is accountable.
Unfortunately not. See, we have organizations, we typically have guidelines, really. So when we have guidelines, standards and guidelines, and there are AI policies, the standard, but the thing is, if there is no repercussion, if there's no get back, then people are free to do whatever they like, especially as these devices find their ways into our homes. Now, you may say that, well, actually it's at home. How does it affect businesses? Well, it does, because the threat actors can use those or weaponize those, use them as a springboard to attack organizations. Does that make any sense? And before where they need to just develop program, they can use AI generated system, develop system, use machine learning, and then they'll just go there, check those devices, and then use them as an attack vector for organizations. And that is why, and every household, and I would probably say this, that every household will probably have on the average of 10 devices, IoT devices, that they have vulnerabilities lying there for AI system to be exploited.
Yes, you're right. Actually, that's a very low number you've given, because by the time you look at it, it's a lot in every house.
Exactly. I'm just being conservative. Yes.
It's very low. Now, there's a question here. Maybe it's a follow-up to that which you have just said. Is that and then the question says that how should human analysts and AI systems collaborate in threat detection and response?
So and it's a very good question. And don't forget that we always say this. Now, yes, AI would use data sets as produced by human beings, right? The human beings would still build them. They would, they can't be as intelligent, right, as human beings. They can do it quicker, but they can't be intelligent. So my point is, they will still need people. They will still need people to help and feed these AI systems, right? So if you look at when you look at threat detection and responses, the human will still design the plan, right, and teach the machine to go and be able to determine or being able to identify this, detect this threat, and respond appropriately. So how should they collaborate? Well, it's just understanding AI systems as it's being built. Get involved in the if you're able to get involved in the development. If not, as a use case, as a consumer of that AI system, understand the way it works. I mean, where places that I've worked in the past, as a developed AI systems, with the logic, you try and understand the logics behind that. The key thing for us, though, is those AI systems as well can be attacked, right? They can be attacked. They can be, and that's what they kind of do. The threat actors would also want to attack those AI models so that they misbehave. They don't do what they have been designed to do.
Thank you so much. Well, I think the continuous working together to detect and prevent, attacks and misuse is an ongoing discussion and debate, actually. But that will lead us to this, and I think I'm going to also post another question here. That is that why is it that it's always the case that without attack there is no defense, particularly in the area of IT and technology? Why can't it be the other way around, so that we are rather proactive before why are we reactive instead of being proactive?
And that's a very good question, right? And we always say this, and when we talk to our students, our delegates, we say, and it's so funny, right? And we use that our use case, right? Where probably most people in cybersecurity now on this side are probably just resting, enjoying their evening, enjoying their meal. But the guys on the other side are not sleeping, right? Now, plus the fact that I've just mentioned the cost of getting this technology is very cheap compared to guys on the defense side. So they're always a step ahead. We are always reactive. Now, how do we stop that trend of being reactive? I guess it's continual training. You just need to continually train your staff. That's why we say at Maratech, we want to get as many people come into the world of cybersecurity. That is the only way. Those people on the other side don't really have intent. They're not driven by money. Some of them, of course, are driven by money. Some of them are driven by bragging rights and say, I defaced their website. I brought down the whole of Spain. It's a bragging right. But we tend to do it for money, right? And that's the difference. So we always say they are always a step ahead of us. Now, how can we bridge that gap? How can we remain on our toes, right? We just don't sleep at night. We just need to make sure we continually get ourselves upskilled, train, get the right skills, and that's all we can ask for, really. That's the only way we can catch up with them.
Wow, that's so it's gonna still be a catch up.
It will, it will, and sometimes,
Yeah,
and sometimes, and I say this actually sometimes, right? Sometimes we laugh about it with my partner and say, actually, it might be a good thing, actually, because that is why the industry continues to be lucrative, right? Because if we don't play catch up, then why do we need? They wouldn't need cybersecurity to help them out, right? So maybe it's a good thing. So I don't know, but yeah, but we always playing we are always playing catch up again, and so maybe it's a good. I don't know. I was going to say maybe it's a good thing, but I won't say that.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Yes, yeah. There's a question that says that what skills, therefore, should cybersecurity professionals develop, at least to work effectively with AI tools?
Good. So, and that's a very good question. What we say is this: as a cybersecurity professional, our job remains the same. We protect these threat actors, right, from exploiting weaknesses. And so we follow this principles of cybersecurity. Now, the threat an AI system face is no different from another software. So, and that is the fundamental thing. So, a threat actor who wants to exploit or do damage to an AI system, okay, will still want to ensure that they want to breach their authentication and authorization. We want to inject doffed data into it so that it can output wrong information. So all the skills that you require as a cybersecurity professional, okay, is what you require. What I would dare say though is, I think you should may need to take it a step ahead, like we do, is try and understand the workings behind AI systems. AI systems will always have a model algorithm, and then it will be fed into data sets. Okay, so try and understand those processes. I would say that. So working with your big data, working with how models are being built, working around the security of the model are the things that you need to add into your cybersecurity skills, I would say.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's a continuous learning there.
101%. You can't. The moment you can't stop, and that's what I say to people when you come into this field. You can never stop learning. You cannot stop learning, improve yourself. The reason being is the fact that your adversaries, right? These kids are probably 20, 21, 22, 15, 16, right? 12, 13, right? So, and they will never stop. So you need to be on your toes. Otherwise, we'll be left standing. And business would, and business can, and that's why business are spending millions and millions of pounds or dollars to safeguard their assets.
Yeah, and that's it. That's what it is actually. Yes. Now there's a question around boundaries, and which of course will dovetail into regulations, which I'm going to be asking. But the first thing I want to put out there is, look at it for us, is that what ethical boundaries should exist, at least in the use of AI for offensive cyber security operations. I think at least,
there are, and there are, when people develop models and design, there are no-go area that model developers fit into it. So, for example, if I go into an AI, and you could do a ChatGPT and ask it to generate an instruction of how to create a bomb, for example, right? It's not going to give you that information, right? It won't. You never get those information. So it will still be all those ethical boundaries that you would have in your normal system that you'll find in AI tools, an AI system, right? And rightfully so. So I would say that the ethical boundaries that you would have in your normal IT systems would still be the same in your AI tools, your AI model. They're still developed by humans, right? So they need to follow that, especially from a business perspective. Business are beginning to develop. I've gone back to develop their AI security policies, and of course, this is what determines and drives that AI security policies and the respective framework. So the framework that now begin to reshape and ensuring that all these ethical issues are brought aligned with what you have with the colleagues in either the normal operations when it comes to AI.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, Anthony, one of the listeners said that the potential of AI and the excitement around benefits have actually allowed for unconscious vulnerabilities from eager users of AI tools. So people should be aware of threats that could have future implications. It's also warning just in light of what you said. But I'd like to ask this, that similar to data protection,
Yes.
where we know the responsibility. As a matter of fact, there's a regulation around data protection, which is called the General Data Protection Regulations. And that is all about security as well. It's all about protection. So can that not be something similar, or what are the because the question said, how should AI in cybersecurity be regulated? Just like data protection is regulated on not only on national level, but on global level. So is there a need for international norms or treaties, just like I asked earlier on the use of AI in cyber warfare?
All right. Okay. So let's go back to and I look at the data protection that you mentioned, right? So in places that I've worked, when they develop system, all those requirements, data protection requirements that you apply, that you have for any system, would apply to AI system anyway. Even organizations that don't have a policy specific for AI, it will still apply. So when you are developing AI system, you still need to follow all these regulations, right? All the security policies, all these regulations. GDPR, for example, will still apply when you are developing your system. And so for example, as an architect, when the data scientists are developing system, there are things that I need to ensure that, one, do you have a data leak prevention? Do you align with data protection, right? When you're developing that. So if you like, all the regulation that covers the IT system automatically covers the AI system. So you may say that there might not be a necessary a requirement to stand up a special one for AI, but having said that, organizations are beginning to do that. They begin to do that. And in fact, I think there's a needs framework. I need to check that on AI. They begin to do that on AI, and that it then spells out what can and what cannot be done in AI. Now, can it be regulated on a national and global levels? Now, the problem even with IT, really, I wouldn't even say they're regulated. They're more of guidelines, right? They're more of guidelines. Only sectors that can then get fined for certain things like GDPR. But when it comes to general cybersecurity, it's not a regulation per se. It's more of guidelines that they need to follow. And of course, if any organization breaches that, there might be reputational damage, which organizations seek to avoid. Does that make any sense? So regulating that, regulating either a global or a national level, I don't think it will be any different from what you have today with your normal or usual cybersecurity standards, policies, or frameworks.
Yeah, framework is good, guideline is good, but it's also
Yeah.
good if a legal framework is
Legal framework to
actually,
underpin. True.
yeah, exactly. That's my point. So
Okay.
because again, that protect both national, it protect people at national and international level. But we'll see how we get there. Because otherwise, that's why you can, if your mobile phone could have been manufactured in China, marketed in America, distributed in United Kingdom, and all contain things that the buyer is not even aware of, and then of course the user, I mean the end user, is not aware of, and then who bears the
That's
problem
a challenge.
when it comes to
It would
so,
be a challenge. Yeah, that would be, it'd be a challenge really of, because on most of these things, you can't even prove that. I mean, let's look at a TV, for example. You've got a TV, you can't even prove that you've got surveillance on the built in that TV. But if someone says it's there, you're not going to deny that, right? You're not going to say it's not impossible. It is possible, right? So I agree, and I agree. It's not only it's not only AI, but I think across board there must be. But it's a journey. I don't think we're there yet. They need a collaboration with all the big boys. Maybe there's no appetite to do that. Maybe you may argue.
Possibly.
Yes.
Okay, now let's narrow it down and back to where we started from.
Yes.
For a typical business outfit,
yes,
how can an organization or how can organization future-proof their security posture in a rapidly evolving AI landscape, at least,
Okay. So I think organizations, either small business, medium or large, I think the very first thing is to start from their cybersecurity. And that would ultimately fit into naturally include AI within that. So you have an organization, some organizations don't even, or they have a security policy that they don't really use. So they need to have a cybersecurity strategy. And within that strategy, it's when they now begin to bring in and they bring in AI system. Now, AI systems is still under cybersecurity. Are you with me? It's not. So when you're looking at organization asset, they would include their AI systems within that. And because it's an asset to that organization, it still needs to be protected. So your security policies, which are controls, and then the technology that underpins that would then need to be extended to their IT, their AI systems, AI models, AI system, AI applications. You have to do that. So, for example, what are your patching requirements on your AI system? It's not going to be different. The patching regime is not going to be different from your cybersecurity system. It's the same thing. You just need to make sure that you understand and identify you have those assets. And then you make sure that it comes under the umbrella of your IT, and then apply all the necessary security controls that you have. If you have any threat, any vulnerability within the AI system, you need to be able to identify that. And that is it. So if you have any AI system that you're not even aware that you have an AI system, then you're running into trouble. You're going to run into trouble because you won't be able to identify any vulnerabilities. Now, if you don't identify any vulnerabilities on those systems, I tell you who would identify it for you. Your threat actors would use their AI system to identify those vulnerabilities and exploit it before you get there. So to answer your question, it still needs to come under their cybersecurity strategy with effective security controls to ensure that if these vulnerabilities are identified, either in the AI system or the IT systems, they are mitigated, resolved before the bad boys find them and exploit that.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I think Darish Shinaya was saying that I think it's an ongoing battle, which I think is not. There's not going to be a winner or loser in this contest. He says so. Ultimately,
I think we will win it. We will
who
win
are
it.
the way?
Yes, the good boys. So the good guys. We have to.
When you are doing catch up, how do you win?
Well, and that is why, you see, and that is why,
Yeah.
And I said it, when we need to get as many people into this industry, right?
Mm.
There's shortage. There is shortage. There's a global shortage of cybersecurity professionals. And one thing that I would say, and it's a bit of concern of so many people, that would AI take people's job? Possibly yes, but it will create jobs somewhere else in the economy. And that is why we need so many cybersecurity professionals coming, right? Otherwise, we'll continue to play catch up. Because organization, as of today now, I don't know what the current, but I'm sure there are over 1 million vacancy globally. There'll be more than that globally that hasn't been filled, right? So you see, can you see that imbalance? So if you look at that imbalance, and then let's go back to, let's be specific about the AI. To get an AI system now, a model to go to the dark web, it's very easy, right? And then don't forget, in the dark web, you don't need to think about data protection. You don't need to think about all this good stuff we're talking about. You don't need to think about the ethics. You don't need to think about any regulation. Just buy it and then fire what you want to fire. But not be sustained. Yeah, I think the good
guy is telling you something.
Yeah, but may not be sustained. I may not argue with that, right? Again, going back to my point, as we always say this, security, and this is the key thing, security is not cheap. That's one fact. Two, business organizations are not there. Their primary reason why they're there is not security. Is to make money, is to
provide
get competitive, get competitive. That's the reason why they're there. It's not because of security, and that is why in our businesses at work we have a challenge between ourselves and the business. We say we need to protect this. They're saying, well, it's slowing me down to get to market. Are you with me? So you always have that challenge. So you're being challenged with your internal people, your business people. Right, and that is why when we do our survey, they will come back and say, "Well, we will accept the risk. We'll accept the risk, because you can't mitigate all risk. So they will accept it." Now look at that imbalance we're talking about. So so maybe yeah. So there are not. I can give you a list of issues that we see.
Yeah, I appreciate your position, and then of course your sentiment towards. But we know that has actually not only constitutes your concerns, not only to the business owners, but also to people like you who are cybersecurity professionals, trying to also come to terms and solving security matters and problems for your clients every now and often. So and that is like people have been saying, it's a continuous approach or continuous system,
101%,
which is also evolving, because again, the moment you protect it with a system, you will see that within the next 3-4 weeks something else is coming up. You also have to do. So it's a continuous thing, and then except it's completely abandoned and another thing emerge, and then it's continuous like that. But again, that's the word of technology. That's what technology is all about, and that's the framework in which we operate. But that would not. It's not a stopper. It's not going to stop technology being advancing, and of course, whether in the fintech or in the business world or in automobile or anywhere, everybody, we know technology is driving it's driving the pace, and of course dictating the direction of progression in not only in business but even in personal aspiration. We understand that. Thank you so much, Mr. Babatunde. I don't know if anybody has got any other question or contribution or comment. We'll be glad to look at it, and then while we're here to quickly go through it before we go. Yes, I want to thank you very much for this, and I think it's been a very exciting, interesting, and highly informative masterclass that you have delivered on this evening. Thank you so much for that. I always try to give a kind of summary, or what I call a takeaway from presentations like this, and I also I would then have to close on that note. But before we do that, Mr. Babatunde, what will be your if there's anything to business, because we are business owners,
Yes.
business operations professionals, and of course, CEOs and COO in
Yeah.
this gathering.
Mm.
If there's any word,
Yeah.
anything, or you
Yeah.
would like to drop or say, what would
Yeah.
that be to them,
Okay.
particularly in this space?
Yes. So I would say from a business perspective, AI is fantastic. It helps business. It's very innovative. So it helps business, especially from a security perspective. Again, I've said this: business. The primary reason why business is there is not for security, but of course, you need security to protect your assets. So AI is there to be used to help build your organization, to help build your defenses. And that is the direction of travel. But of course, at the same time, you also need to think about your defense, right? That your adversaries are also using AI to attack you or potentially attack you. So when you're thinking about your defense, you need to also think about the AI, if you like, generated or response in defense, so that you want to remain a step ahead of them, and that is being proactive in your security controls, in your security defenses. And that's what I would say. AI is your friend. Just be aware that your adversaries also use that too, and you just need to make sure that you are aware of that, and you'll be able to defend should the need arise. And that is the double sword effect or dilemma that we face.
Wow, thank you so much for that. Yes, guys, thank you for participating. The key, takeaway, as I have tried to summarize or put some things together while our speaker was talking, is that artificial intelligence, which is otherwise known as AI, is at the forefront of modern cybersecurity. Serving both, as a shield and also a sword. In this masterclass, speaker has been able to explain the complex realities surrounding the weaponization of AI in cyber attacks. So we discuss how AI empowers threat actors to not only to automate, but also circumvent traditional defenses, and of course execute attacks with unprecedented speed, and sophistication. We also highlighted how defenders are utilizing AI to better predict, detect, and of course neutralize threats, resulting in an escalating harm race between offensive and defensive technologies, which of course we know that that both has to go together. So this session has emphasized the strategy, ethical and regulatory implications of AI weaponization, underscoring the necessity for proactive governance, robust security by design principle, and global collaboration to mitigate risk. So I think the one is to be prepared to harness the full potential of AI regardless, and create a future filled with significance and success. And I think that's the last word you were trying to say, that regardless, we cannot take away the not only the relevance, but of course the effectiveness of AI in driving our businesses, which is key. And whether we like it or not, that is what we are to be doing. That's what it is at the moment. So, guys, thank you so much for attending and participating in this month masterclass. We hope you have found it stimulating and educational. What has been shared today offers opportunities for deep insights and, of course, actionable strategies that can inspire you to develop resilience and adapt and keep moving in your business, and even after facing significant challenges. The world needs the best version of your business and you. So please show up and do what is needful. Now, if you have any question or comment or inquiries, please visit our website at www.skillsmindset.com and leave us a message. One of our team members will reach out to you. We encourage you to subscribe and follow us on our various platforms, as you don't want to miss any of our episodes whether it's podcast or monthly masterclass. I encourage you, therefore, to approach every moment, not only of your life, but of your business with courage and optimism. Keep pushing your dreams with knowledge and unwavering passion. Until next time, I want to say thank you, take care, and stay focused. So goodbye for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The world is changing, and so does change. But the mind has the potential to capture the changing world and make every change count. At Skills Mindset, the leading global skills, strategy and corporate development company, we believe that the mind has the potential of transforming the man from obscurity to prominence. It's the reason why we make skills our business. At Skills Mindset, we stand for change, for development and for success. We challenge, we inspire, and we lead. With Skills Mindset, your limit is just the beginning. Welcome to Skills Mindset. For more information about the great service we provide, please visit our website on www.skillsmindset.com or give us a call on our UK number on 07957 676 193. Better still, send us an email on info@skillsmindset.com. Skills Mindset. Challenging limits, maximising opportunities.